Your credit score, the CS, does not equal building wealth. What your credit score does give you access to is cheaper loans. What do cheaper loans mean for the majority of people? Cheaper loans mean more dumb stuff. And this is where you don't want to do that, because so many people get caught up into this trap that if I have a better credit score, I can have more dumb stuff and show off how I get rich. But this is exactly what you want to be avoiding. Now, for those of you that want to stay up to date on what is happening in the financial news, when it's happening, Market Briefs is a free financial newsletter where my team is working to break down what's happening in things like the economy, housing, stocks, crypto, and the global economy into a fun, witty, and easy to read newsletter. You can read Market Briefs in less than 5 minutes every morning, and it's completely free. So if you haven't read Market Briefs yet, I got the link to how you can read down in the description below. But I don't want to leave you hanging here, so let me talk about how you can actually win in this system, because if you want to win in this system, you want to have some dumb stuff. Nothing wrong with that. You want to have a nice car, you want to have a nice home, you want to have some fancy vacations, you want to have some nice clothes, great. Now, the question is, how are you going to buy it? And a lot of people being sold on this dream that you can buy it through cheaper loans. How do you get cheaper loans? Through a better credit score. But that's not the way to go about doing it. If you really want to be able to build wealth, the way that you buy this dumb stuff is with cash. That means without financing it. And yes, that includes not using 0% APR, because all these things are making the banker richer, it's making the companies richer, but it's keeping you broke because you're buying things that you can't afford. Now you're going to say, well, Jaspreet, that means I need more money. You got it. If you want to really become wealthy, your focus needs to be not your credit score, it needs to be on building assets. That means owning investments. That could be stocks, that could be real estate, that could be your own business. You're making money, not spending all your money. You're using the money you don't spend to buy investments. You do this for a little while. I call it a decade of sacrifice. I get it, that's not a little while, but you got to do it for a while. This decade of sacrifice where you're working to spend less and earn more so you can invest your money like crazy. Now what you're doing is working to build up these assets. You're working to build up your real wealth. That way then you can buy more dumb stuff without having to worry about the price. So the question is, when is this type of debt okay? Because for me, if you want to follow my rules, that means you're not financing your car. I know that's hard. You're not financing your clothes. You're not financing your vacations. If it doesn't put money in your pocket, you do not finance it. And the only exception to this would be the home that you're going out to live in. Now, if we're talking about rental properties, we're talking about those types of businesses, then sure, you can use debt, but I don't want to talk about that because I'm not an advocate of that, because most people who go about doing that are going to end up losing because they get caught up into these schemes and scams of how you can just go out and raise a whole bunch of money and start a business or buy a business without knowing what they're doing. And then because you don't know what you're doing, the bank is going to come and foreclose on you, and then they're going to force you to sell this asset that you bought for pennies on the dollar to somebody like me. So that is for, we'll call it a more experienced investor. Not saying you shouldn't do it or that you can't do it, but make sure you understand the risks that are associated with that. So when it comes to you buying these dumb things, buy them with cash, with the exception being at home. Now, I do want to talk about the topic of credit cards here, because I use a credit card. I prefer to only use a credit card. And the reason why is because when I use a credit card, I get cash back, I get travel protection, I get rewards, I get upgrades, I get a lot of perks and benefits for using a credit card versus when I buy things with physical cash or a debit card. I don't really even have a debit card. I don't know, maybe I do, but I don't know where my debit card is. So why do I prefer my credit card over debit cards and cash? Because to me, it's just a medium of exchange. When I use a credit card, I don't pay interest. I pay off my entire credit card balance in full every single month, and generally early, because I never want to have to pay a penny in interest. If you're paying interest on your credit cards, you're doing it wrong, and you got to get rid of your credit cards as fast as possible. Cut them up, listen to Dave Ramsey, get rid of those credit cards. But if you are financially disciplined, and you know you're only going to spend your credit card on something that you would have if you would have purchased it with cash, well, then your credit card is just a medium of exchange. It's just a way for you to transfer money as opposed to you transferring physical bills, or instead of using a debit card, using a credit card. And if you pay it off in full every single month, you get rewarded with some cash back and some other perks and rewards, which can be great because you're not changing your spending decisions because of what you're using. You're just using a credit card. Now, if you're using a credit card and now you're spending more money because you're using a credit card because you want to capitalize on points or perks, or you're using a credit card because now, well, you think that you're going to get rich with points, but you're carrying a balance, you're doing it completely wrong. You're making somebody else rich at your expense, and you got to get rid of your credit cards. So when it comes to things like your credit score, don't get caught up in the game. Okay, I get it. Your credit score is going to help you qualify for a lower mortgage. Your credit score is going to help you qualify for these lower loans, but use this debt strategically. I mean, do you need it to buy a car? Well, why don't you just buy that car with cash? That means you're going to need more money. Yeah, that means you're going to have to be more financially educated. Yeah, that means you're going to have to make more sacrifices. Yeah, but that's going to make you more wealthy. When it comes to buying a home, yes, a better credit score is going to help you qualify for a better mortgage. But guess what? There are ways for you to build a credit score with time. And you just got to understand the game here, because if you just keep playing this game of taking on debt to improve your credit score, you're making somebody else rich. But your goal should be to make yourself rich. And if you can show the income, you can show the cash in your bank, you can show that you pay things on time, you're going to be able to get the things that you want and build your wealth, which is more important than you building your credit score. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.